Why are things happening the way that they happen in our lives? And sometimes it's the enemy, but he's the great deceiver. And if there are any areas in your life where you recognize something is happening, but I can't put my thumb on it, you're about to put your thumb on what is really going on behind the scenes, why you feel the way you feel, why sometimes you sink into depression, why sometimes you're doing everything right, but somehow you don't see the harvest coming. Could it be that there might be an insidious force that's working behind the scene, something that's evil that you are not paying attention to? The enemy is a master at deception. It's bait and switch. It's smoke and mirrors. It looks like one thing over here, but then he's used a deception and he's using decoys so that we don't point fingers back at his attack on our lives, our business, our children, our success and prosperity. So the enemy is a master deceiver, and he will pull the wool over your eyes, and he would use distractions and other methods so that you don't point fingers back at him. If Jesus said, I am come that you may have life and have it more abundantly, that means that akin to that, simultaneously, the enemy is using deceptive methods and distracting methodologies to draw your attention away from the obvious so that you're straining at ants and swallowing camels. You're straining at little gnats and you're swallowing camels. You're distracted. We live in a hyper distracting environment. This is a generation of distraction, and distractions is meant to destroy your focus, to destroy your timing, not just to steal your time, but timing as well as opportunities that are attached to time. And so if we miss divine timetables, we miss the opportunities that is attached to that time. Lord Chesterfield said, know the true meaning of time, snatch it, seize it, enjoy every moment of it. No idleness, no procrastination, never put off for tomorrow what you can do for today. And we see how the enemy is distracting us by breaking our focus. And a lot of us are praying prayers based on what the enemy is doing, not based on what God wants to do. And we have to learn how to balance. Spiritual warfare is not just the utilization of words to counterattack the enemy, but also words have power, presence, prophetic implications. No time, no space, no geographical limitations. Words cause the wombs of the spirit to contract. Jesus said, the words that I speak, they are spirit and life. And then in the Old Testament, it says that thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established. You have to be careful in this season that the enemy is not dictating to your prayer agenda. This is very important because this is a generation over the next few years of innovation. And if the enemy is distracting you with his agenda, whereby you are using the agenda of the enemy to become your prayer agenda, you will cause potentially what I call prophetic abortions to occur, or something that God wants to birth through you. He might have to use another person. Maybe that person is less qualified than you. Maybe that person is not as skilled as you. Maybe you are the person that's qualified, but because you are so distracted in what God wants to birth in the earth realm, he's not able to birth it through you. He might raise up another individual for that. And this is what you don't want. And I believe that God is changing your prophetic perspective. You're going to begin to see the unfolding of God's program or God's agenda for humanity. You're going to see it unfolding. And many of you that are sitting and listening to this lecture series, you're a part of it. God is doing something new. This is the generation that God likened to the days of Noah. And the days of Noah were days of innovation. And what is going on with you? Something has come to an end, a season, a business, a relationship, and God wants you to refocus you on the new. And the next 6 years are going to be so vitally important where the church is concerned, because we have to birth out the next. We know what God is doing now, but what is the next? And many of you that are listening right now, you are listening because you are born to shape the world. And those that are born to shape the world, if the enemy can kill you or destroy you, he will definitely cause distraction to undermine that abundant life that God wants to give you. You are the head and not the tail. You are a leader, not a follower. You are a creator, but you are not a duplicator. You're an innovator. You are an industry thought leader. You are the highest expression of divine genius and intelligence given as a gift for humanity for such a time as this. You are going to bring the solution to this world. And I say, let there be light. And I break the spirit of distraction from off of you.